is now a good time to begin saving and investing. How can we make money off of the confusion currently rife in the market and turn that anxiety into a source of profit? Hello, Tristan with Crypto Coach here, and welcome to another video in our series about the bear market. On a weekly basis, we dig into the attitudes and tactics that will help us rise from the ashes of this bear market and ride the next bull market to even greater wealth. Please let us know in the comments below which zero you are aiming for this season, whether it's going from $10 to $100, $1,000 to $10,000, or from $1 million to $10 million. Here, we'll explain why the next 6 to 24 months are our best chance to build wealth and achieve financial freedom. Awesome. Let's have a look at the reasons why the current economic crisis may be ideal for gaining financial independence. The world's economy is in turmoil. Out of control inflation, increased money costs due to rate hikes, the threat of a third world war, and concerns about a worldwide food scarcity are all at the mercy of the Federal Reserve and the government as a whole, who are both hopelessly inept. Yes, these times are terrifying and people are frightened. But we must remember that most of these things are beyond our control. Currently, there is nothing we can do to affect the market or world events in our own particular capacities. As a result, we need to focus on what we can control, which is our thoughts and feelings on the subject matter. You can conceive of your thoughts, feelings, and convictions as your most important asset and most important approach. Currently, the majority of people are relying on a strategy of fear and panic. We must intentionally decide to change our strategy from fear and panic to bravery, focus, and forward movement. We need to be prepared for the worst and play a defensive game in this market. Rather than preparing for the worst-case scenario, why not anticipate it? Because even if the worst-case scenario doesn't come to pass, we'll be considerably better off regardless of what happens. Life insurance and emergency funds aren't something we do because we expect to die tomorrow. They're things we do so that we'll be prepared if and when the unexpected happens. A recession is expected to hit 75% of Fortune 500 corporations at some point this year. Until July 28, 2022, we won't know for sure that we're in the middle of a recession. Gross domestic product or GDP declines for a second consecutive quarter. What should we keep in mind and prepare for during a recession? As a result of this, businesses go bankrupt, jobs were lost, it becomes more difficult and expensive to get a loan and borrow money. Consumers spend less money on non-essentials, the market falls, cryptocurrency falls, and people's confidence in the overall market outlook fades. And why are all of these negative events that take place during a recession considered positive? The downfall of failing businesses opens up new opportunities for growth, reduces the demand for overpriced employees and talent, and makes it possible to gain access to previously unavailable sources of talent. As a result, starting a business during a recession is one of the best ideas. Why? There is less competition, and as a result, it is easier to find workers and talent, and the workers and talent are more reasonably priced as opposed to overpriced. You'll be able to focus on your work and trailblaze while everyone else is hiding out or is unwilling to act because they are afraid. Indeed, a number of large, well-established enterprises, such as General Electric, Hewlett-Packard, Hyatt Hotels, and Microsoft were founded during economic downturns. Uber, Slack, and Airbnb were all founded during the recent recession. Is it simple to get your own business off the ground? No. Is it simple to establish a business in a downturn? It's not. And another thing that has been a disadvantage for a great number of individuals over the previous 2 years is that they have not been required to actually work all that hard or at all during that time. Companies were afraid of losing employees, and as a result, they were unable to fill open positions because of the high demand for workers and the low supply of available workers. As a result of our laziness, we've been slacking off for the past 2 years. And the truth is that we won't be able to continue this for the next 2 years. Here's some statistics from the past to get us all fired up and inspired for the next 6 to 24 months to crush opportunities for the rest of our lives. Just to be safe, you might want to consider moving your crypto funds away from exchanges that might put a hold on your account, freeze withdrawals, or go under in this bear market, resulting in the loss of all your money. Make certain to get your cryptocurrency off of exchanges and into cold storage hardware if you intend to store it for a long time. One of my favorite wallets is BC Vault, but the ledger devices are also a viable choice. Sweet! Following is a rundown of the 10 worst market meltdowns in American history. To emphasize, first, how much the market dropped, and second, how long the bear cycle lasted. In 2020, the COVID collapse was negative 34% and lasted for 33 days. It took 55 days and a 36.1% decline in computer trading volume in 1987. It took 26.8 months for the dot-com bubble to burst in 2000, with a net loss of $36.4 billion in value. The crash of World War II in 1939 was a negative 38% and lasted for 3 years and 3 months. The panic crash of 1907 had a negative 40.4 index score and lasted for an entire year. In 1932, the Great Depression lasted for 5.75 months, with a long-term decline of 40.6%. It took 20.7 months for the gold standard Watergate drop in 1937. The New Deal tax 17 and spending cutbacks and a negative 54.1% for the property market to fall in 12.8 months. And ultimately, the worst crash, known as the Great Depression crash, lasted for a total of 34 months and registered a negative value of 89.2%. Great. So, the bear cycles lasted an average of 16 months in each of the top 10 US stock market crashes to date. This is why I think a time frame of 6 to 24 months seems fine. And if we count the drop from our price peaks in November as the beginning of the bear cycle, we are about 7 months into it. As a result, bear that in mind as well. This next chapter in our history is the most enthralling and hopeful one, so let's dive right in. The following is a list of how long the growth and expansion cycles lasted in the United States following a recession. We had seen growth for 81 months by the year 1938, which was at the time of World War II. In 1961, during the Vietnam War, we had 108 months of growth. In 1982, during the Cold War, we had 93 months of growth. We had 112 months of growth in 1991 during the tech bubble era. In 2001, when there was a bubble in the housing market, we had 74 months of growth. After the recession ended in 2009, we saw 128 months of positive growth. Great. In other words, following a crash, the typical expansion cycle in the United States lasted around 100 months or 8 years. Therefore, let's ask ourselves, is it possible for us to grow and survive for a mere 6 to 24 months if we use that time to increase our understanding, build a company, establish revenue sources, develop our cash reserves, and improve our investments so that we may succeed and achieve wealth for a decade after that? Yes, we certainly can. This bear cycle will leave us largely unaffected if we play our games correctly. Ethereum, for example, was trading around $10 when many of us first began investing in it in 2016, when Bitcoin was trading at around $600. In other words, despite being 80% below our most recent all-time highs, a long-term portfolio is not negatively impacted. Is there going to be more pain? Yes. Is it possible to go lower? Definitely. How far will we go down then? The chances of this happening are extremely high. What do we need to do? It is imperative that we prepare for the worst, anticipate the worst, and decide that these 6 to 24 months are our once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to achieve our financial goals. Put your energy into building a business, safeguarding and maximizing your career, establishing additional sources of income, developing a network, and learning new things, while also doubling down on productive distractions like reading the right books, watching the right documentaries, and associating with the right people. Weed out those who are dragging you down and aren't as motivated as you to attack the next year, or so as no other opportunity has ever been approached. Make sure you don't do this on your own, crypto friends. It's now or never. So we need to decide to reinvent ourselves by showing up and working harder than everyone else. Cultivating a positive, brave and motivated attitude and challenging ourselves, generating new ideas, implementing new strategies, and taking full ownership of the next 2 years of our lives. Fantastic! Hey, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell notification to stay up to date on new content. The historical market cycles we discussed were interesting, right? Were you surprised by how short the bear cycles were compared to the bull cycles? Are you ready to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you're safe when you're out and about.